गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातिरावनचारि यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयेषु नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 22, Maharaj Prithu's meeting with the four Kumaras, Sloka number 6. Hatakasan Asinan Swadishnya Shva Iva Pavakan Shraddha Samyamya Samyuktaha Pritaha Praha Avagrajan Hatakasana Asinan Swadishneshva Iva Pavakan Shraddha Samyamya Samyuktaha Pritaha Praha Bhavagraja Hatakasana Asinan Swadishneshva Pavakan Shraddha Samyamya Samyuktaha Pritaha Praha Bhavagrajan
Hatakasana Asinan Swadishneshva Pavakan Shraddha Samyamya Samyuktaha Pritaha Praha Bhavagrajan Hatakasana Asinan Swadishneshva Pavakan Shraddha Samyamya Samyuktaha Pritaha Praha Bhavagrajan Hatakasana Asinan Swadishneshva Pavakan Shraddha Samyamya Samyuktaha Pritaha Praha Bhavagrajan.
Word to word meaning. Hataka Asane. On the throne made of gold. Asinan. When they were seated. Swadishneshvu. On the altar. Iva. Like. Pavakan. Fire. Shraddha. Respect. Samyama. Restraint. Samyuktaha. Being decorated with. Pritaha. Pleased. Praha. Said. Bhava. Lord Shiva. Agrajan. The elder brothers. Translation and purport by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The four great sages were elder to Lord Shiva, and when they were seated on the golden throne, they appeared just like fire blazing on an altar. Maharaj Prithu, out of his great gentleness and respect for them, began to speak with great restraint as follows. The Kumaras are described herein as the elder brothers of Lord Shiva. When the Kumaras were born out of the body of Lord Brahma, they were requested to get married and increase the population. In the beginning of the creation, there was a great need of population. Therefore, Lord Brahma was creating one son after another and ordering them to increase. However, when the Kumaras were requested to do so, they declined. They wanted to remain brahmachari throughout life and be engaged fully in devotional service of the Lord. The Kumaras are called Naishtika brahmachari, meaning they are never to marry. Because of their refusal to marry, Lord Brahma became so angry that his eyes became reddish. From between his eyes, Lord Shiva or Rudra appeared the mode of anger is consequently known as Rudra. Lord Shiva also has a Sampradaya party known as Rudra Sampradaya, and they are also known as Vaishnavas. ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरून् श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So here we see that the very distinguished guests, the four Kumaras, so they are nicely welcomed, they are seated, and their feet have been washed, and then the water that has washed the feet has been sprinkled upon, like Prithu Maharaj sprinkled upon himself and his associates, and now like they are seated on a golden throne, and they are they're just looking like a fire on a blazing fire on an altar. So there is sometimes like a big fire that is put on, so like Ganga Puja and all, we can see that how that blazing fire. So in the darkness, if you see that blazing fire, it will be like very amazing actually. So here, this description is very nice, that on a golden throne, if a fire is to be really seen, the fire has to be really very bright or really very distinctive. So that's when fire will have this one on the golden throne. And then so this goes to say like they were much more like amazing than even a golden throne. And then Prithu Maharaj, like here it's mentioned about Shraddha, Samyamya and Samyukta Pritaha. So like he was having Shraddha, generally we translate as faith, but then here Prabhupada is translating it as respect. And then like Samyamya, so like Prabhupada often quotes this one. I searched in the verse book, yoga indriya samyamya, so like that. So and the verse book, it is given source unknown. So it is something like Prabhupada coined, I think. So yoga indriya samyamya means like to yoga practice means to bring the senses under control. So that's the meaning of yoga practice. And here it is mentioned samyamya means restraint. So like restraining the urges of the senses. So that is a very important aspect. So without restraining the urges of the senses, so one cannot function in a proper way. One cannot actually do things in a proper way in this world. So like why it is mentioned so? One of my favorite sections in Bhagavad Gita, which talks about how Arjuna is asking even atakkena prayuttoyam. So even if I want to control my senses, or even if I don't want to do something wrong, so I am forced to do no wrong. So why is it so? And Krishna mentions that it is because of lust and anger. So kamayesha krodayesha rajoguna samudbhava mahashano mahapatma vidyena minvairinam. So and then he goes on to say that where to find this lust, and like where to find this kamadi, like all the friends of lust also, like kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada and matsarya. So where will we find all these people? So like these are all our enemies, and Krishna says, or at least Prabhupada puts it in the purport. So once we know like our enemies, we should also know like where they are there. So then we can actually attack them. And where they sit is senses, mind, and intelligence. So these are the places they sit. So that's why this restraint of the senses is very important, because action of senses on their own is spoiled by lust. It is it cannot be just allowed to do whatever the mind says, or whatever our intelligence says, and whatever the senses says. So it has to be restrained. Senses, like the gross senses have to be restrained by the way of regulation. What needs to be done, what should not be done. Like for example, the sense of tongue or like belly. So it can be restrained by eating on timely this one basis. And one devotee was telling that how much ever you want, you eat, but then eat on only one on the particular time only. So that was a very nice this one. So I used to follow this, that whatever I get, I used to keep it, and then I used to eat only at that time only, like not on other times. My mother used to get very irritated with that. So and then that is kind of a good restraint. And another restraint of eating, which also helps a lot, is like you eat any number of times, that's not a problem. But eat only when there is hunger, and eat only little bit, just to mitigate the hunger. So again you get hunger, then again you eat, not a problem. So this is not told by a devotee, this is told by a doctor. So when I was having severe back pain, so that time he mentioned, this is a very nice way to keep up the health. You eat any number of times, but don't eat too much. Eat as much as to just mitigate the hunger. So then your health will be very nice. So in fact that helped me to come out of back pain to a great extent. So this is samyam is like kind of restraint, is like restraint of the senses, and that is very much important. All the more very important when we are there close to a great personality, like 4 Kumaras. So it is all the more very important. So we don't want to act out of our anarthas. We want to restrain them, and then we want to act based on the scriptural injunctions, what exactly is mentioned. So, but then for a devotee like Prithu Maharaj, so this samyamya is like kind of automatically inbuilt. It is already there. Senses are already controlled. So this, what is that sloka which talks about this? Duddantendriya kala sarvapatale protkatam strayate. So Vishwam Purna Sukayate. So like this particular sloka, it talks about the senses as the serpent, and then what is that? This one, Kala Sarpa Patale. I'm not able to get the first line. Anyways, so it's very difficult to remember slokas. So Tridashapur Akasa Pushpayate. Kaivalyam Narakayate. It starts with that. Kaivalyam Narakayate, Tridashapur Akasha Pushpayate, Duddante Indriya, Kala Sarpa Patale, Protkatadam Strayate. So for a devotee, Kaivalya is as good as Naraka. That means merging in the existence of the Lord is as good as Naraka. And Tridashapur Akasha Pushpayate. So it is like all the heavenly planet is like Akasha Pushpa. That means it is just an illusion. Akash mein pushp nahi उगता है, पेड़ में उगता है. So it is like, and Chaitanya Charitamrita introduces another this one, which is called Goda Dimba. Goda Dimba means egg of an horse. Egg of an horse is just illusion. Horse never puts an egg. So horse gives birth to a baby horse, right? So in this way, like this is like kind of illusion. Something like that, it doesn't exist. So people go there and spend some time and come back. Just before even we could sufficiently enjoy, our time is gone. So we have to come back. So it is just an illusion. And then what is that? Durdante Indriya. So like the senses are having Durdanta, Durdanta, it is having that this one venomous teeth of this lust and envy, pride and all those things is sitting over there, in the senses. And then for a devotee, no, it is not a problem because prodkata damstrayate, like, no, it has been uprooted. So the snakes are there, the senses are there, but then the venom has been uprooted. So by the process of devotional service, and that's our whole goal also, that when we chant, when we chant without offenses, so then the Lord enters the heart and He cleanses all the anarthas. And then once the anarthas are cleansed, so then this is Duddhanta Indriya, Kala Sarpa Patale. So it is Kala Sarpa, but then it is, no, teeth are taken out, fangs are taken out. So now it is not, it doesn't create any problem for a devotee, right? So the senses have become purified. So in this sense, in recently one lecture I was hearing, that matter in itself is not a problem. The desire to enjoy the matter, or the lust that is sitting on mind, intelligence and senses, that is a problem. And if that can be purified, so then a devotee can be like, no, bindas, he can render service to the Lord in a nice way. So this is the main problem that is sitting in this one. So that has to be cleansed. And what we need to do, we just need to do the same thing, no, chanting without offenses, and then or hearing the same thing, doing all the 9 processes of devotional service without offenses, or even one of them, without offenses. So then, it can just take us through the whole process, and Krishna can cleanse the heart, through the whole process. So in this way, like we see here, Prithu Maharaj is already, he is Samyamya, and then he is Samyukta Pritaha, that is, he is filled with being decorated with out of his great gentleness and respect for them began to speak. So he was decorated with so much of wonderful qualities, and then he was addressing to them, and so he's going to address with this great restraint and great gentleness, and with all other good qualities. He's approaching this is kind of, he's approaching his spiritual master, we can say. He's approaching his spiritual master with all this one. So now we see there is one nice thing is mentioned about Lord Shiva. Is here these personalities are called as Bhava Agraja. So Bhava means Shiva. So that is what is the bifurcation of that word?
Bhava and Agraja.
No. Of Bhava. This husband of Bhavani, right? So it is like husband of Bhavani. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu catches the Digvijay, not Digvijay Pandit, the Keshav Kashmiri. Not Keshav Kashmiri. Keshav Kashmiri, right? So Keshav Kashmiri. So he asks him to recite glorification of Ganges, and then there he mentions Bhavani Bartuhu. So that means so Bhava means who? Bhava means husband of Parvati, and then and husband of that lady. So it becomes like that. So this is the husband of the wife of Lord Shiva. So that means it looks like this husband. Something kind of a flaw that came about. So this Bhava has become famous word from then on. So Lord Shiva is called as Bhava, and also Bhava also means the material ocean of material existence. So but I don't know how this word has any connection to that or not, I don't know. So and then this Agraja, so whenever this word Agraja comes, I always remember that Rangam Gata Sagraja. So that's a very nice lesson. So when Krishna and Balaram were entering into the wrestling arena, so it's very nicely mentioned about Agraja. And also every day when we chant our Mangala Charan, so Sagraja is there. So the Rupa Goswami and then his elder brother Sanatana Goswami. So it is mentioned like that. Words are very nice actually. So when they are related, when they are glorified in relation to another great personality or another intimate personality, so that's a very nice this one. When Krishna also is glorified, so when if he is glorified in relation to his devotees, so then that becomes a nice this one. So that reminds the other person also, or that reminds the Lord also of his dear devotees, and then the Lord becomes very pleased with such a this one. So here Lord Shiva is also a very notable, great devotee of the Lord. And then here it's mentioned like, you are the elder brother of the great Lord Shiva. It's like, it's a very good honor to give in that sense, right? And we see that here the Kumaras are mentioned as the elder brother, and then the Kumaras were born out of body of Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma requested them to marry and increase the population. And as we had many times discussed, that in the beginning of creation, the main task that Lord Brahma had, or all the Prajapatis had, is to procreate children. That's the beginning, this one. And these people, actually 4 Kumaras, were not devotees at that point in time. So they were kind of Brahman realized. They were jnanis. They were like perfected jnanis. So they were Brahman realized. So they didn't want to get into the worldly activities. So it is not out of devotion to the Lord at that point in time, at least. So, but at least they were jnanis. So jnanis, in our Bhakti Shastri, we studied that 2 things jnanis they are freed of. One is enjoying mentality, another is doership mentality. So here Brahma is saying like, we have to increase the population, and that's the instruction of the Lord. कुछ इच्छा नहीं, like कुछ करने का इच्छा नहीं. We don't want to do anything. So, and Brahma would have, we can imagine like how much Brahma would have got angry upon. So like this is the first creation that happens after the Lord's instruction. Till then he might have created many other many other lokas and so many things he might have created. But first, like a human-like creation. This is the first creation that Lord Brahma is saying, and then saying, they told that no, we cannot follow your order. So it would have been like really very intimidating and things like that. So and Brahma became angry, and then from his anger, Lord Shiva came about. So in all practical sense, the 4 Kumaras are the after Lord Brahma. So 4 Kumaras are the eldest in the whole universe. And wherever they go, they will have the top class welcome. So because nobody is elder to them except for Lord Brahma, right? So and then here we see that they became Naishtika Brahmacharis, and then that means they never wanted to get married. And so this aspect of Naishtika Brahmachari, so this was there in the culture. So previously people used to be sent to the Gurukul, and they used to practice brahmacharya, and if somebody wants to continue in the same way, they can continue. But then now we see that right from the childhood, the child is put in front of the TV, so brahmacharya is lost there only, so it is very difficult to have any Naishtika brahmachari, so it's completely gone. So one time, one of our I think one of the devotees who was raising his son in Mayapur Gurukul, so he had come to Bangalore for some visit of some relatives, and then this small boy, he was a very small boy, and then he was taken out for a shop somewhere, and then there was an advertisement, billboard over there, all this not properly dressed women is portrayed over there. And then this boy when they were purchasing this one, and so this boy asked, what is this Mataji doing? And the other the devotee who was Bangalore devotee who took him to the shop, he was kind of shocked. This is a very nice training, everywhere he sees only Matajis, Matravat Paradhareshu. We are raised in Bangalore and we are grown up in Bangalore, and we cannot think in this way, seeing every woman as Mataji and that too a half naked woman in the this one. So in the billboard. So it is a very nice training, Gurukul training. So wherever you see only Matajis. It's not that wherever women you see, it is not Sarvatra Deke Ishta Devasputi, it is not like that. So it is whichever woman a person sees, he sees only as a Mataji. So that means he is a very nicely trained brahmachari, in that sense. So here we see these Naishtika brahmacharis, that means they don't have even a thought of sense gratification. They don't even have, they may come across women, but then they don't have any this one thought like that. So now we see the same thing is mentioned about Sukadeva Goswami also. When Sukadeva Goswami was passing by, he was passing by so many different areas, and then women were taking bath. In fact, later Vyasadeva came, and when he came, they started covering up themselves. And when Vyasadeva asked, I'm like a grandfather, so I am coming and you are covering yourself, and my son, who's fully grown and 16 years old, and he's passing by, and you are not what is that? You have not covered yourself at that time. So why did you do like that? So then they answer saying that no, he was just very, very innocent, and there is no lust at all in his whole existence. And it is quite evident that he is not at all looking for any sense gratification. So in this way, this Naishtika Brahmacharya means like that. So where these personalities, they have been trained into thinking about Brahman, or thinking about the Supreme Lord, or in this case, really, these people were brahmacharis only, they were thinking about only Brahman at that point in time. So, they are completely absorbed in that, and they don't have any attraction to this material world. So that's the state of existence they were in. And we were discussing yesterday about this different aspects. So somebody may be very advanced in Brahman realization, and a devotee should not be worried about that particular thing. That our goal is much more higher than this Brahman realized soul. For example, if we go to some this Mayavad mutts also, there will be very nice sadhus who would have conquered their senses, and who would have did lot of tapasya, and who are glowing with effulgence and things like that. So we should not be worried about those things. So let them glow with effulgence, and they will not go beyond effulgence. So we are trying to render service to the Lord, and till the time our anarthas are completely finished, we will not see this effulgence. But one fine day, when the anarthas are finished, we will also have that effulgence. So we should not be worried about that aspect of how grave he is and how nice he is, and things like that. So what is the greatness of such a this one? So Arogya Krachayana Param Padam Tata Patantiyada. So they are going to again fall and come into this material world and engage in all sort of material activities. So if they don't take shelter of the Supreme Lord. So that's the important aspect here. And here Prabhupada is mentioning about how Brahma was angry at Lord Shiva, and then his eyes became red, and then he created this Rudra. So because he was created out of anger, so his name came about as Rudra. And then but then the personality is so amazing. He's also called as Lord Shiva, who is very auspicious and who is very calm, and who is not at all agitated and things like that. So but another aspect is he's Rudra. So this in South India, this thing is very popular. Rudra Tandavam, they call Rudra Tandavam. So this Tandava Nritya. So every dance institute will have this Lord Shiva's this Nataraj, this one. So that statue will be there. So that's the this one identification of Rudra, what he is up to karke. But then Lord does only at the end of the creation. So Lord Shiva does only at the end of the creation. So he doesn't do it in the middle. So if he starts dancing, then everything will go for a toss, right? So in some places in Bhagavatam it is mentioned that when there is some huge thing is going on, means upheaval is going on in the whole universe. So it is also mentioned that is that Lord Shiva has started dancing untimely, so that is why the whole world is going shaking like that. So if Lord Shiva dances, then it is finished, So if he does this Rudra Tandava, so then it is finished. If he is dancing in Kirtan, then it is not a problem. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, many places it is mentioned like how Lord Shiva dances. So Lord Shiva dancing is not a problem, but he should not do this dancing. So out of anger, and he is just dancing in that way. So probably that anger may come from no guy, nobody is doing any devotional service in this world. Useless guys. Why you people have to live? So maybe he's having that anger, and then he's just destroying. So now here we see that one nice thing, like Prabhupada is mentioning about is, Lord Shiva also has his party, Sampradaya, and then that is called Rudra Sampradaya, and they are also known as Vaishnavas. And if you see, Lord Brahma has his Sampradaya, and the first children of Lord Brahma, 4 Kumaras, they also have Sampradaya. And the second son, that is the Lord Shiva, he also has Sampradaya. So then after that, Lakshmi Ji. So like at least the first 3 personalities who were born in this creation, all of them have their Sampradayas. So their school of thought. But then all of them are Vaishnavas. And we see that Lord Shiva has a personal audience with Krishna, and then, or like Lord Vishnu or Krishna, and the 4 Kumaras, they also had personal audience. Where, in which instance they had personal audience?
When they gave curse.
They had Hamsavatar, this one is there. So when they were like having some serious questions about existence and things like that and all, so they were kind of asking to Lord Brahma, and at that point in time, Lord appears as Hamsa, and then he starts, like speaking very, very weirdly, and that whole section, even for me, it was very difficult to understand. Lord starts speaking very weirdly, and then these 4 sons, they get to they kind of understand what the Lord speaks. So the jnanis have to be spoken in that level. Only Lord can do that. So very cryptic language. He speaks. So that is one instance. Another instance is like they also got that instance of when they became devotees. The Lord Sankarshan's this one, the tulsi that are offered at the feet of Lord Sankarshan. So they were like attracted by that, and they got audience of that. So in this whole thing, I don't know which happened first. So like somehow they became a devotee. Like they had different interactions with the Lord, and then they became a devotee, and then they started preaching the message of Krishna consciousness. Right. So in this thing now we see there are 2 classes of people. One is Pravritti Marg and Nivritti Marg. 2 classes of people are there, and one class of people is that they try to increase the population, and they try to spread devotional service in that way. And another kind of people is that they come and preach, and they make them brahmacharis. So these 2 classes of people were there right from the beginning. So in fact, when Daksha was doing very wonderful service of procreation, so Narad Muni came and made Daksha's sons as brahmacharis. And at the time there was a huge conflict. This is like right now the service is we have to increase the population. And like Narad Muni says, okay, after increasing, what you are supposed to do? Like we have to make them send them back. Kitna barte jayenge? We have to make them devotees also. So, and this was a conflict of interest. And Lord Krishna doesn't or the Lord doesn't give any standard solution, saying, okay, but till this date, you should not make anybody brahmacharis. Everything should increase. And after this, you can make brahmacharis. If you would have made something like that, there would not be any problem. But then, Lord will not do like that. Okay, you do your job, let him also do his job. No, conflict is coming. Okay, let it come. And we will sort it out. Whenever conflict comes, we will sort it out and we will carry on. Let everybody do their job parallelly. So that's the Lord's management, right? So in this way, Lord puts so many different classes of people, and naturally, like conflicts arises. And Lord takes that as an opportunity to preach to them and get them to the next level of Krishna consciousness, and he enjoys these aspects. And in this way, the whole creation actually goes on from the beginning of Lord Brahma to 4 Kumaras to the Lord Shiva. And even after creating Lord Shiva, Brahma did not have fulfillment of his desire of creating the population. So it always takes a lot of struggle, before we get to a proper level of, doing anything. So there is a saying in the, like in colloquial, this one, that before a person becomes a proper doctor, like if you kill 100 patients, you'll become a half doctor. There is something like that. Some saying is there. So here also you see, like Brahma wants to procreate and fill the universe, and then he is creating one after another, and nothing is working out. So, anyways, Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai,
Jai.
Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
So we will try to chant 64 rounds today. Ekadashi. Very